Hi, my name is Jeff Stencil. Today here at Frank Baker Machinery, I'm here to show you the 55 kip MTS 810 system. We have that paired with our 7 GPM silent flow and 407 controller. A little bit about how we built out this system. All new cabling, controls, and HPU rebuild to make this a complete test system, standalone test system. I want to go over just a little bit of how those controls match up and how general function works with the system. Let me go ahead and pause control right now. So I'm going to switch this over to ramp. I've stopped program control, and now we're holding displacement at 0 inches. Now at this point I can press the menu, go back to my ramp control, and just tell it where to go. So let's go up to 0.5 inches. Now when we move up, we can see we're slowly climbing up to that 0.5 inch displacement. That's moving the cylinder up. Same thing here, go back to my control, go back to set point. Now I can type in negative 0.5, enter. And then as I go back to my DVM, I can see that progressing, and you can see the cylinder extending to the negative 0.5 displacement. Now that's simple ramp control. Previously, when we started the video, I had it under sine control. You can do triangle control or square control based on the based on the function generator in the 407. But all of it's ran through the front analog display, and you move through the menus to define your test spec. From the get-go, we can go ahead and turn off the pump. So we're going to stop movement, turn off the HPU. That turns off the pump. So all of that control is done through the 407 with this intermittent cable here. Okay. So that signal is being generated through the 407 and through an intermediary box that handles the electrical for the pump. All right. So to start it up, we're going to go here, press low, and then high. You'll hear that kick on in just a second. Okay. Now we got pressure up on the system. At this point we have control. So again, on the DVM, we're showing negative 0.5. And under my ramp control, I can set this set point to wherever I want. So let's go to 2 inches here. And that will move under closed loop control, retracting the cylinder up until it's at that 2 inch displacement. Okay. So if you want to walk around, we can show you how these hookups actually work. So right here you have all your emergency lights, your e-stop for your pump, all that can work remotely as well. We have everything color-coded for connection purposes, so you can see your pressure, return, drain, and water in and out. We have our load cell cable going back to the 407. We have our servo cable going back to the 407. And our HSM cable, again, all color-coded, going back to the 407 on color-coded connections here. All right. And then again with the hydraulics, all the hydraulics are matching and going back up to the manifold, so everything can be pretty much plug and play once you receive the equipment. Now everything will be capped, both at the ends of the cables, so you'll have to uncap, unplug all of the connections, tighten them on those JICs, get everything nice and tightened down on your manifold and on the pump before you start. You'll have to run water from your facility to the pump to make sure you have cooling, and then connect all your electrical cables from the sensors and manifold back to the 407. The only additional thing is to make sure you have your power cable for your 407 coming from the 110 outlet, and make sure you have your HPU control box wired to the 407 and to the pump. Once we're powered on and you have your 460 volt three-phase going from your facility to your HPU, everything is electrically and hydraulically connected. And at that point, we can start on operations. Now that we have pressure and flow from the pump, we can adjust the mechanical operations for the crosshead as well. And that comes in here. So you have crosshead lifts and locks. Okay. So first off, you're going to do locks. That's unlocking the crosshead. And at this point, we can go up with the crosshead or down with the crosshead. And at one point in time, once we're ready for our setup, we can go click over to locked, and that will lock the crosshead in place on the columns, and now we're ready for testing. The 407 is controlling everything from the actuator itself. So that's when you saw me going here through this menu. I can adjust set point, I can adjust waveform, and tell and control the actuator however I please. At this point, we're just going down in position, and I'm just using position control because we don't have anything set up in the machine currently. At any point in time when we're done controlling the machine and everything's where we want it, in this case, I'm going to let it get back down to 0 displacement, which is the center of the actuator stroke. Once that's set and holding position, I can turn off the HPU and rest the machine, get it ready for shipment. So now we're at set point. I can go off with the HPU, turn everything off. At this point, the hydraulics are locked, waveform's off, HPU is off, so everything's safe to walk away. So at this point, we're going to disassemble everything, make sure and button everything up, get it all packaged, ready for shipment, and in a short week, customer will be ready to receive.